Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. All right, first question I got up here is from Stephen K. from the School Anabolic Bodybuilding Members Community. Stephen asks, Big Paul, have you ever dealt with tennis or golfer's elbow? If so, what do you recommend to help recover from it? Oh boy, yeah, the tennis and golfer's elbow. Jesus fucking Christ! It's elbow problems are a constant nightmare with bodybuilding bros, gym bros, guys that lift. First, we need to clarify the difference between golfers and tennis elbow. Tennis elbow is usually an inflammation of the elbow or the tendon that's on the outside of the elbow. Golfer's elbow is the inflammation of the tendon on the inside of the elbow. I have dealt with both off and on my entire time lifting. I always get them in my right elbow. I am left hand dominant, and I have thoughts on why that is. I have occasionally got them on my left elbow, but I'm left-handed. But usually it's my right elbow. What I think is going on, and a lot of times I think the reason why people end up having golfers or tennis elbow is just having a death grip on the bar. It's from gripping the bar way too fucking hard. Specifically, you mentioned golfer's elbow, which is the tendon on the inside, which I think is the one most commonly that dudes deal with. I get it on the outside, but there's a couple things that lead to it. Over supination on any exercises where you're bending the elbow can exacerbate it. I think a lot of guys end up causing problems from doing over under grips on deadlifts. And remember I mentioned having the right elbow be a problem. I used to be an over under guy on deadlifts. I did a lot of deadlifts when I was younger, and eventually I ended up popping my UCL. I did that another thing, but I think I weakened it from lifting. But the over-under grip on deadlifts can really fuck you up. I've seen guys tear biceps doing that. I've seen guys fuck their elbows up doing that. But I think a lot of times that'll lead to golfer's elbow. Another problem with golfer's elbow, it's just speculation, is underhanded pull downs or underhanded rows, because your arm is extremely supinated, especially if you're using a straight bar versus an easy curl bar. When I'm doing the underhanded movements, we have these. I don't know what brand it is at my gym, but these bars that allow you to get a 45 or anything that would allow you to freely turn your elbows. That's another problem too. Heavy barbell curls too, like when your elbow's extremely turned out, extremely supinated, you end up in a situation where that can also cause problems. I also too, and you can look at it. A lot of guys will use straight bars on things, and your elbow, it doesn't allow your elbow or locked in on any type of bar. I like using handles that turn and rotate. Now, when I do curls, when I do any kind of pulls, we have the Prime pull down machine and Prime rows at our machine, and they have free moving handles. And if you notice, like if your elbow, like think about, let's like doing a tricep push down with a bar that's locked in, you can see how when you get at the bottom, the elbow starts to, I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me get this up. The elbow starts to torque. That's putting a lot of pressure on the tendon on the elbow. Whereas if you use a free moving handle that allows you can keep your elbow in a locked plane where your elbow doesn't torque, and you're not where that look, I'm not a physiologist, but for a lack of better description, the tendon is just going to be scraping up against that groove that it sits in, and eventually you're going to end up with inflammation, tendonitis, and which can lead to tendinosis long term, and tendinosis leads to tendon tears. Ask me how I know. It's from doing all kinds of stupid shit in the gym, but I think that's something that you need to be mindful of. Now, how to get rid of it? It will. I've had tendonitis in my elbows before that'll last for years sometimes. The only way to really get rid of it is just to stop doing the shit that hurts. Icing your elbows, stop doing the shit that hurts. Being really careful with exercise selection. Once the pain and inflammation settle down, You could try some BPC 157, TB 500 to help with healing and inflammation. But those are only going to help so much if you're continuing to do the movements that are causing the movement patterns that are causing the problem. Ease up on your grip. Make sure you're not using a depth grip on your bar. Be careful with supination. I would pick exercises that allow your wrist to freely travel and to keep your elbow into a fixed plane of motion. Ice that elbow. Be really careful with it. Stay away from stuff that hurts, and eventually it will calm down. That inflammation will go away, and you'll heal up.